What is up, my friends? Netflix, I'm telling you, with the content, I just did an Outer Banks video where I talk about the ending of season 1. So if you want to go check out that video, go check it out right now. I will be doing a season 2 series tomorrow. So turn on the bells, make sure you subscribe. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers, but let's just get right into this movie called Extraction, or as I like to say, Extra Action, because my goodness, this movie really packs it in there. And that's because I found out that this movie is actually directed by Sam Hargrave. So if you're wondering who Sam Hargrave is, he is actually a stunt coordinator for movies from Marvel such as Avengers Endgame, as well as Captain America Civil War. Has worked with the Russos, and the Russos actually have produced and written this movie as well. So that came to me like, my goodness, this is a Marvel reunion, because you have Chris Hemsworth right there front and center as Rake, the protagonist. But let's get right into this movie and its ending that many people are trying to debate. And Extraction is a movie that follows the kidnapping of Ovi, a son of a drug lord, by another drug lord. So the father of Ovi threatens his second in command, Saju, to get his son back. So he goes out to find a mercenary group that is going to provide him Tyler Rake, an ex-soldier played by Chris Hemsworth. I'm just kidding. Chris Hemsworth is definitely more than just Thor, my friends. Chris Hemsworth, I'm telling you, he is starting to get on this path where I believe we'll be seeing him a lot more front and center in movies, because he can definitely do the action and the comedy right. So let me just tell you, we're about to see a lot of him pretty soon. So Tyler Rake is a soldier with a very dark past, because he lost his son at a very young age. His son was 6 and he died of lymphoma, and then after that his marriage didn't last, and pretty much he's just walking along life with nothing to live for, and that's the vibe you get from him. So he's just pretty much in shambles. Ultimately, he does take on this mission, and it's clear from the beginning that he has wanting something like this where he can pretty much go on a suicide mission. As we see, he very much so doesn't care when he gets in situations where his life is pretty much in peril. So what we see is that he is able to find Ovi, quickly take out his captors, but then things turn sour because Saju ends up revealing that he was actually never going to pay, as there was no money to pay, and he was just going to intercept and take Ovi away from Rake and pretty much say okay, we did it, we got the kid and everything, it's done with, and Rake was just pretty much expendable at this point. Now with nowhere left to run, Rake and Ovi are running with all sides and odds up against them, and they are up against the wall, and then a silver lining comes through in the form of David Harbour, Stranger Things Black Widow star himself, appearing out of nowhere, and it looks like he's going to be helping Ovi and Rake. And turns out, no, that's not the case. As Netflix, as I said in my Outer Banks video, Netflix just loves to hit us with these twists and turns, like, gotcha right there. You thought it was over. You thought we were going to get somewhere. Well, let me take it back, spin the wheel, and let you know that that is not the case. They get into a fight, Rake and Gaspar, and as they are doing this, midway through, Obi shows up and just boom, shoots Gaspar dead, and pretty much you can tell that Obi was feeling himself as Rake at that moment in time. Over time, we do see these two sort of form a bond of sorts, a father and son type moment, if you will, because we find out that Obi doesn't feel that connected to his father really, and as we know, Rake is dealing with a lot of trauma himself with his son that passed away sadly. So you start feeling for these two, and you're hoping that things are going to come to a happy conclusion. Well, it turns out it's not, as we get to the next part of the story, where we find out that Rake has come to an ultimatum that he has to do whatever it takes to save Ovi, and whether that means taking a huge risk, he does so in the form of phoning up Saju and being like, we're going to get this extraction going, but we're going to have to do all of this that pretty much guarantees we're not sure if we're going to live or die. So we see them take all of these risks, and the plan goes according to plan, and we see Rake and Saju get the kid to safety, get to the extraction point, but they have to also be able to get all eyes off of him and on them, and we see Saju get sniped and killed, and then we see Chris Hemsworth, Rake, be gunned down by the kid from the beginning of the film, who was trying to prove himself to Asif. And then we see him fall over a bridge as Khan and Obi watch as they are extracted away to safety, and we pretty much are like, he's dead and at peace. It looks like it. 8 months later, we see Asif be killed by Khan, and we see Obi jump into a pool, sort of mirroring Rake as he was, fearless. And we can see that a lot of that has gone on to him, and he pretty much is living a life sort of like he was taught something. Anyways, as he comes out of the water, he sees a figure that looks like Rake, and this is where the movie ends. So, what the hell is going on? Is Rake alive? Is this just a vision? Well, I was looking throughout the internet for something like a commentary from the director, and I was able to actually find something talking about that. So I'm going to go ahead and read that right now. So this is what he had to say. We had a version of the movie and we tested it a lot, and it was not surprising that a lot of people wanted the character to live and some people wanted him to die. People were torn. It was almost down the middle. We want to appeal to as many people as possible without compromising the integrity of the story. And so we think a pretty good compromise is to make an ambiguous ending. If people on one hand feel like the story is complete and is a story of redemption through sacrifice, then for them it'll be where the kid is imagining Rake standing there, and then now you go, yes, I'm satisfied. If you feel like you love Tyler Rake and you love Chris Hemsworth, don't we all? And you want a sequel, and you're like, there's no way you can't kill him, then there's Tyler Rake standing there looking at you. So we kind of purposely did not pull focus to the character standing there. So you don't get a full answer right there, my friends, but you get a sort of answer. And it can sound cheap to you, but I get what they're doing here. And by the looks of it, Tyler Rake is going to be standing right there because this movie's #1 trending, and I can assure you that millions of people are watching this movie. There is no way they wouldn't continue the story of this character, as characters such as John Wick are gaining popularity. I'm pretty sure they want their John Wick as well, so here it is. So what are your thoughts on the ending? My interpretation of it is that Tyler Rake is alive and he is lying low, but he is still keeping a watchful eye on Obi, and we're going to be seeing a Extraction #2 sometime in the future. So let me know below what you think. Do you think Tyler Rake is alive, or do you think he is dead? It's just we didn't see a body. I always say that in the movie or a TV show, if there is no show of a body being dead, you can rest assured that we're going to be getting these characters coming back at some point in time. So, as I said, with the popularity of the movie, I just don't see no way that they wouldn't want to make a sequel. Anthony and Joe Russo know how to build worlds, as they've proven already with Marvel, and I'm sure that they are trying to prove themselves with this new series that they're going to be on for a while. But yeah, I thought that the movie really shows you how action can be so fast paced, but yet you still are able to see all of the action play out. And it's sort of like a new thing in action movies where we want to have these one shots happening. And I think that we can definitely pay tribute to The Raid now. The Raid definitely, I think, brought that explosion of action movies over here now, with films such as John Wick, even TV shows such as Daredevil, where we see these one shots. And you could even take it a little bit more back, I feel, to Old Boy, actually, with these like one shots where you just see like a bunch of characters, not fast paced quick camera movement where it can make you a little dizzy of sorts, sort of like Bourne had. Bourne at the time, it was pretty cool, but then it got overplayed and you were just left with a headache. I like this whole idea of being able to see the action play out, so I'm cool with that. You let me know your thoughts, though, on this new action trope, I feel, and what are your thoughts on that? Also on Extraction, and would you want a sequel? I'll make a video on the sequel, like my theories on what could come next for the character of Tyler Rake, in an upcoming video this week. If you want to see that, give me a thumbs up. If we get to 100 likes, I'll make it. And if there is an Extraction 2, I'm very curious to know, what do you want to see? Do you want to see Tyler Rake become sort of an underground mercenary now, where people go after him to do certain jobs for them? Or would you like to see a new protagonist in the likes of Tyler Rake or connected to him take over the reins now, if he is indeed dead? And yeah, as I said, my Outer Banks theory video for season 2 will be coming out tomorrow, so make sure you tune in for that. Also tomorrow, actually, Outer Banks season 2 theories will come out Monday. Tomorrow I'll have the Russian sleep experiment video where we'll talk about that. And yeah, this Extraction sequel video will probably come out sometime Tuesday. And then Wednesday, I think we're going to have the On My Block ending watch party. So, anyways, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe right now. Go give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you comment, share, all that good stuff on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Let's get to it. And I'll see all of you next time. As always, make sure you're staying safe, quarantining, all of that. Let me know what you're watching on Hulu, Netflix. So, anyways, as always, I'll see all of you next time. Stay positive.